Former Obama administration official arrested after video shows Islamophobic language spewed at food vendor. Obama former advisor says, more Palestinian kids should die in Islamophobic rant. Vatican denies Pope Francis used the word genocide to describe events in Gaza, after he met with Palestinians at his residence.
Call of Duty 2024 is indeed Black Ops, set during the Gulf War in the early 90s. Sony has been working on PS Portal since 2017, suggests an unearthed patent featuring DualShock 4 input. Japan's government uses Minecraft to show off a huge, real-world infrastructure project. In Brazil, Senate committee approves, in first vote, quota for national works on streaming services. Netflix handed a director millions to make a sci-fi series, but he squandered it on stocks, crypto, and flashy cars, reports NYT.
4 out of 10 Portuguese people are unable to save even 5% of their net salary, study reveals. In Germany, pensions will increase by almost 43% by 2037. Melissa Barrera breaks silence after Scream 7 firing. I condemn anti-Semitism and Islamophobia. Scream 7 faces full creative reboot after losing Jenna Ortega, Neve Campbell and Patrick Dempsey on wish list. Jenna Ortega not returning for Scream 7, due to Wednesday shooting schedule. Diddy's clothing brand Sean John, being phased out of Macy's, after 2 decades of partnership. Instagram's MR Adventure accused of illegally killing bears, in Yukon.
Kelsey Grammer wanted a sillier return, and is ready to do at least 100 more episodes. Witcher author says Netflix never listened to his ideas for the show. Mike Johnson said he wanted to revisit Supreme Court decision that legalized gay sex, and his high school friends would have claimed to be trans, to spy on girls. BBC includes transgender woman activist Ruxana Kapali on its annual list of 100 inspiring and influential women. Pope invited trans women over for a pasta and meatballs dinner.
Finland closes all Russian border checkpoints except least accessible one, as Finland to close all but northernmost border crossing with Russia. Russia warns of a crisis at Arctic border with Finland, as an influx of asylum seekers crosses border. In Pacific Shift, U.S. is set to build a missile wall against China. In Switzerland, Federal Council approves export of 25 main battle tanks to Germany. Germany has given assurances that the tanks will remain in Germany, with NATO or its EU partners in order to meet existing shortfalls. Missing blob of water predicted to be in the Atlantic, finally found. Dublin Airport exploring potential options for plane spotter viewing area.
Russian actress and soldiers killed in Himmler's strike on awards ceremony. Putin says we must think how to stop the tragedy of war in Ukraine. Suicide rate 2.6 times higher among Indian men compared to women, claims a study. Rising numbers of people found long after death in England and Wales. Hearing loss is associated with subtle changes in the brain. Short duration of rape can result in shorter sentence, says Swiss court. Bill Cosby faces new sexual abuse lawsuit under expiring New York law. In France, Sébastien Cotte, targeted by an investigation for rape, removed from the air by Énergie until further notice.
The Panama Papers and other leaks brought in €450 million to France. In Germany, sugar tax could save up to €16 billion.
Winklevoss twins crypto firm Gemini sued over $689 million in customer withdrawals. Binance founder Changpeng CZ released on $175 million bond, will be sentenced in February 2024. Binance users pull more than $1 billion from the exchange after CEO leaves and pleads guilty.
EU lawmakers approve New Zealand trade deal to end hiatus. No justifiable reason to keep Bulgaria out of Schengen, says Roberta Metsola, President of European Parliament. Howard Webb compels referees to punish Premier League players by waving imaginary cards. NFL's Colts owner Jim Irsay says he was arrested for being rich, white billionaire, details fight with addiction. Glenn Davis, Will Bynum found guilty of scheme to defraud the NBA players' health and benefit welfare plan. Susan Sarandon dropped by talent agency after remarks on Gaza war. Paris Hilton's media company suspends ads on X, 1 month after agreeing to touted partnership with the platform. The Guardian comments as right-wing personalities use X to bring anti-Semitic theories to light, in U.S.
COVID-19 vaccine effectiveness against post-COVID-19 condition, among 589,722 individuals in Sweden. A population-based cohort study showed that The vaccine effectiveness against post-COVID condition for 1 dose, 2 doses, and 3 or more doses was 21%, 59%, and 73%, respectively. Half of COVID survivors still had symptoms at 3 years, more reinfections amid Omicron. ChatGPT with voice opens up to everyone on iOS and Android. OpenAI researchers warn board of AI breakthrough ahead of CEO Elster, sources say.
Geert Wilders, a far-right anti-Islam populist, wins big in Netherlands elections. Hungarian parties and candidates accepting campaign contributions from abroad could soon face up to 3 years in prison. Victims of anti-gay laws in France could be compensated under new bill. Paris Hilton's media company suspends ads on X 1 month after agreeing to touted partnership with the platform. EU stops advertising on X over hate speech. Fines could follow next year. X Twitter will bring back article headlines in posts, Musk says.
Spent coffee grounds may protect brain from neurodegenerative disease. Chlorine disinfectant is no more effective than water at killing off hospital superbug. Higher cognitive ability linked to voting against Brexit. People taking ADHD medications should closely monitor their heart health. Our brains are not able to rewire themselves, despite what most scientists believe. Romantic jealousy uniquely predicts women's efforts to enhance their physical appearance.
Sony is facing $7.9 billion mass lawsuit over PlayStation Store prices. Star Wars, KOTOR, Knights of the Old Republic, remake isn't cancelled, is still in the works from Saber Interactive, Insider says. Nintendo Japan is releasing a separate N64 Switch app for mature games. Jars of turkey gravy recalled because they may contain beef gravy. Passenger offered imported dog food on China Eastern Airlines flight. Bill Gates says, a 3-day work week where machines can make all the food and stuff isn't a bad idea.
Lockbit's affiliates are exploiting Citrix bleed, government agencies warn. Commercial flights are experiencing unthinkable GPS attacks. U.S. nuke reactor lab hit by gay furry hackers demanding cat-human mutants. Uruguay upgrades China ties to match big South American neighbors. China's Xi meets top Russian lawmaker in sign of tight ties. And Korea says it will restore all military measures halted under 2018 Inter-Korean military accord.
More brokerages sued after $1.8 billion award in commissions case. Recently, a jury found realtors must pay to home sellers $1.8 billion for inflating commissions. Bloomberg claims some of America's costliest cities offer best middle-class life. More Americans are expected to buy now, pay later for the holidays. Analysts see a growing risk.
Biden administration officials see proof that their strategy is working in hostage deal. Israel shares full list of Palestinians to be released in hostage deal. Gaza most dangerous place in the world to be a child, claims UNICEF. Israel's $48 billion war bill leaves its fate with bond markets.
Myanmar rebel offensive helps China's cybercrime crackdown and China's all-out effort on wiping out scam syndicate families in northern Myanmar. Justin Sun's Hiko chain faces $86.6 million security breach. Toyota only plans to make enough solid-state batteries for 10,000 cars in 2030. In Honda recall, engine concerns impact Pilot, Ridgeline, Odyssey, Acura and other models. Judge finds reasonable evidence that Tesla new self-driving tech was defective. Karate Kid open casting call quickly lands 10K submissions for lead role in new film. Tim Allen says Disney has reached out to him and Tom Hanks to reprise Buzz and Woody in new Toy Story movie. EU lawmakers reject proposal to cut use of chemical pesticides. U.S. egg producers conspired to fix prices from 2004 to 2008, a federal jury ruled. In the UK, Chester Zoo celebrates birth of critically endangered eastern black rhino. Experimental mining plumes in ocean warming trigger stress in a deep pelagic jellyfish, as deep-sea mining threatens jellyfish. Fire devours Brazil's Pantanal, the largest jaguar refuge in the world.
British broadcaster, Sky may reduce crowd noise to silence Everton F-word protest. Lukaku sets new European qualifiers scoring record. Ferrari boss appeals to FIA and points to first Verstappen title. In the UK, Home Secretary James Cleverly described Stockton-on-Tees as shithole, MP claims, whereas James Cleverly denies calling Stockton North derogatory term. Also, James Cleverly refuses to deny he called Rishi Sunak's Rwanda scheme batshit. Nissan to announce it will build 2 new electric cars in Sunderland after months of talks with the UK government. Coldplay thrills over 75,000 fans at Kuala Lumpur concert. Chris Martin recites Pantene in Bahasa Malaysia. Daryl Hall gets a restraining order against John Oates in Hall & Oates legal battle. Deep space astronauts may be prone to erectile dysfunction. Higher cognitive ability linked to voting against Brexit. Self-emulsifying drug delivery systems, SEDDS, disrupt the gut microbiota and trigger an intestinal inflammatory response in rats.
NASA will launch a Mars mission on Blue Origin's first New Glenn rocket. Scientists find hydrogen in Apollo moon rocks, suggesting astronauts can harvest lunar water. Small satellite launch provider, Vector Space Biosciences, announces new drug repurposing platform using data generated in space. Missouri library will ban porn star book, after 20 people on waiting list read it. In the USA, Catholic hospitals remove crucifixes, so they can't be used to beat staff. In Australia, judge dismisses Clive Palmer's appeal to build thousands of homes on floodplain, near sewage treatment plant. No sign of terrorism, in blast that killed 2 at US and Canada border, in Niagara Falls, governor says. Buffalo Airport closed to international flights after explosion at US-Canada border, by US FAA. US thwarted plot to kill 6 separatists in America. Swiss government decides to ban Hamas.
U.S. Labor Board files a complaint against Mozilla for refusing to hire Apple activist. EU Parliament adopts right to repair law with broad support. India confirms subsidies for Apple supplier Foxconn, Lenovo and 25 other tech hardware firms, bolstering country's electronics supply chain ambitions. Epstein victims accuse USVI of providing safe haven for crimes. U.S. actor Jamie Foxx, Guns N' Roses' Axl Rose accused of sexual assault. Interscope Records co-founder Jimmy Iovine facing sexual abuse lawsuit. OPEC Plus struggle over African quotas forces a delay to meeting. UN climate meetings organized in a way that benefits richer, larger countries. In the USA, New Jersey moves to ban new gas-powered vehicle sales from 2035. China hospitals overwhelmed with children suffering pneumonia, colds. More than half of French people do not trust the media on current affairs, according to a study.
Argentina's Milei says, Caputo, Minister of Finance from incumbent term, has expertise to be economy chief. Indonesia's anti-graft chairman, named suspect in corruption case. 16 of November, 2023, status YouTube weekly top songs, Standing Next to You, Young Kook, Now and Then, The Beatles, Segin Kien, Maluma, Corinne Leon, Si No Estas, Inigo Quintero, Chalia, Arijit Singh, Shilpa Rao.